Hey everyone, happy Monday, October 20th. I'm Endrit Sella, and this is Capital Markets Quickie. Let's jump into what's driving the week ahead. Quick note before we dive in. Today's episode is brought to you by AMF Capital, Asset Management Frankfurt. Learn more about our funds and strategies at amf-capital.de. So, investors are keeping a close eye on what's happening between Washington and Beijing ahead of the scheduled meeting between President Trump and China's Xi Jinping. Everyone's wondering whether we'll see progress or just more tension, especially after last week's volatility, fueled by concerns about bad loans at some regional banks. Now, the other big focus is inflation. The long-awaited Consumer Price Index report for September finally comes out on Friday after being delayed by the government shutdown. It's the last major piece of data the Federal Reserve will see before its interest rate decision next week. That means every detail will be dissected, since the Fed's next move could depend heavily on it. Because of the shutdown, many other government reports might stay in limbo for now, so traders will have to rely on what they do get, including some corporate earnings and a few private sector data releases, to gauge the broader picture. On the earnings front, Tesla takes the spotlight this week with results coming Wednesday. CEO Elon Musk is expected to talk about more than just electric vehicles. There's a lot of buzz about his robotics and AI developments, including the company's Optimus robot and expanding robotaxi plans. Investors will also be watching how the recently expired EV tax credits affected sales. Intel's report comes Thursday, and that one's important too. The chipmaker's stock has rallied recently after a string of government-backed deals and partnerships with major AI players like NVIDIA. Markets want to see if those moves are finally turning into real growth. Elsewhere, Netflix reports after raising prices again, Coca-Cola and Procter & Gamble will give insight into consumer spending, and HCA Healthcare rounds out the week with an update from the hospital sector. Meanwhile, gold miner Newmont reports Thursday after gold hit several new all-time highs recently. On the macro side, inflation isn't the only number that matters this week. We'll also see existing home sales on Thursday. Economists are hoping for signs of life in a housing market that's been pretty sluggish lately. Consumer sentiment and PMI readings for October are also coming up, giving investors a better sense of how the economy is holding up heading into the fourth quarter. So, to sum it up, we've got trade talks, inflation data, earnings from Tesla and Intel, and the Fed looming in the background. It's a week packed with signals that could set the tone for the rest of October, and maybe even beyond. All right, that wraps up today's Capital Markets Quickie. Join me again tomorrow morning for more market updates. See you then.